Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Happy New Year. It's good to be back. I feel like I haven't been here in a while. Once I wrapped up the journaling challenges, I felt like I was sort of on break for a bit, and now we're into January, so it's time to catch up and share some new things with you. This is my ink journal, and I wanted to just start off showing you a little bit of a discovery I had with a few inks. I recently was given this gooseberry sample from Elise, and I wanted to compare it to a few other purples that I had. When I did this swatch, I thought this is really similar to Caran d'Ache Storm, which is a sample that my friend Kim gave to me from the Seed Chronicle. And so I thought, okay, let's just do a comparison. So here they are. And here is the chromatography. I thought that they would be similar to Noodler's, but as you can see, they are not. These are quite similar. I wrote this one this way and then those sideways because oddly I started writing at the bottom of the page, so didn't want to smear my hand in ink. But these two are very, very close. I feel like I'm developing my eye for color a bit because before I did the chromatography, I said this one just has a little more pink. And sure enough, if you look at the chromatography, it really does. But they both have this grayish taupe. But there's just, I guess, enough, however these are all made, enough pink to give that a slightly pinkish look, where this is, to me, a little more grayed, a little more blue. The Birmingham Pen Company Gooseberry, though, has this wonderful shading quality when you print with it, as does Storm. But it seemed just maybe a little more apparent, a little more of an extreme shading on that. So that was super fun. I've really enjoyed doing these chromatographies. I think it just helps me figure out what I like and don't like about an ink. So the next little ink venture to share with you, two new colors I got as a surprise from one of my sons, Samuel. He gave me this set of Show Me, I don't know if they're a set, but he gave them to me together. Show Me, the St. Louis City's ink. I'm from outside of St. Louis. I was born in St. Louis County. And then Oz Story. So not two inks that I had ever really considered. So it's really fun when he gives me inks because it branches out my something, broadens my horizons. And it was really fun. I really enjoy experimenting with these inks. And I love that he picks them out from his perspective. It's really been fun. He's given me two other Colorverse inks, and I really enjoyed it. And did you realize Colorverse, do they call it that, as in universe, but we're talking about color because it's inks, Colorverse? I don't know. That was sort of an aha moment the other day, and I thought, I wonder if that's why it's called Colorverse. So here I used my super big size up from this dip nib in the B series sizes to just kind of play with this ink, see what it looked like when it's really laid down generously on the paper. By the way, this is Regalia paper by Endless. Love the little splotching, the little kind of outlines you get with that. Oz Story and Show Me. So these are really gloppy, and I had to dip them a few times because I didn't have enough ink with the first dip. This really is a good name for this, I think. It's so emerald looking. It makes you think of the Emerald City. Here I tried it on the B7 Natural. And I really think that the overall look is similar. I'm finding that in some instances, this Regalia seems a little bit on the dry side, but it really depends on the pen and ink combination. I think I liked it a little bit better on the B7 Natural in this case. And it seems like the color is just ever so slightly more rich on the B7 Natural getting a bit of a almost pinkish element here. Did I think to do a chromatography? I don't think I did, but it might be in here somewhere. Anyway, super fun. A way I like to use these inks that are lighter, well, the obvious way is to write with them in a fountain pen, and I do have both of these in a pen. But what I'm especially enjoying is, let me find it. I have all these things to show you, and I'm losing my place in my books. Okay, here we go. Grab my current journal. I like to do these number stencils oftentimes with the dates, and so I used the Show Me and the Oz Story to fill in the stencils. Typically I use a Sharpie, one of those really fine tip ones, so it doesn't run. But I really, really like how it gives it that watercolory, because it's a watery ink. I'm kind of starting to understand that more too. People talking about watery inks, it's like a dry or wet ink. I'm like, well, of course it's wet, it's ink, but there's definitely a difference in the, would it be viscosity of different inks? Much more watery, and it just creates this very light flowiness to the color, which is really, really neat. Liking that a lot. So let me show you. I did the Colorverse swatch cards. This is the Show Me. Tried to do it kind of in one layer, but it seemed like I had to kind of go back over it. It's so cool. I love how these things just, like, you put it on and sometimes you even cover up and it seems like it's not gonna, the design that's pre-printed is not gonna show up. But once it dries, it really does. I dropped a little bit of Oz Story in there. It's kind of cool looking. Can you see the, like, the outline around that? It's blurry. Trying to get it to focus. There we go. Anyway, really fun. So on the back, I tried with my Wankai dip nib this time, a print and a cursive version. It's very gray here. Just almost, to me, looks like you couldn't call it anything else but gray. Whereas on the front and on some of the papers that I'm using it on, it seems like it sort of has maybe what I would call a slate gray or a bluish gray, subtle blue to it. This is to look like the St. Louis Arch, which is gray. So that's kind of fun. And then here's Oz Story. I think this one is particularly striking. So that's new on the inks. Enjoying that discovery. And then I wanted to show you this lovely, wonderful pen, the Pilot E. Let's see, there's the E. It looks like a 3 upside down to me. E95S. This was a surprise. This is in the medium nib, as you can see, if you can read that sticker. This was a gift from my youngest son, Drew, on Christmas Day. I had no idea he was buying this for me, and he had just kind of asked, oh, Mom, what are you doing with your ink stuff lately? And I really didn't know what to tell him, just kind of the same old thing. Well, he went on YouTube, and it's really funny because he looked for gift ideas for fountain pens, and he came across Hemingway Jones, and Hemingway had a thing from last year, like 2022, 5 pens to gift. And he gave, whoops, sorry, I'm getting a text on here. This was one of them, and Drew thought that that would be a nice pen for me to have. So the generous young man, he just turned 18, bought this for me. It was a total surprise, like I said. So this is not a hooded nib, but a inlaid nib. This is actually a gold nib. The largest it comes in is medium, but it has been wonderful. So the first ink I put in it was Van Diemen's Cradle Mountain Gray. I thought a nice deep gray and black would complement each other well. And I wrote and I was in love. It was like, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever had such an immediate response of really liking a pen like I did with this. I didn't know if I would like a smallish pen like this. I generally like chunky. I saw this at the pen show last year and was quite intrigued by it, but I wasn't ready to make another purchase because that was the year for me to buy the 823, so I didn't buy anything else. But I did like this, and I thought, that's something to consider for the future. But was totally surprised by it and really actually liking the small size. I keep playing with this because it's so fun. This is a great kind of pen to have if you're somewhere where you want to take notes and you don't want to be clicking maybe your vanishing point tick, 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 off and on, or you don't want to screw on the lid, unscrew the lid, draw attention to yourself when you're in a quiet place with others around taking notes. That's how I feel about it. So just this nice slide-on nib is super wonderful. I am very, very pleased with this. And second fill, now I have Jade Noir in it. I want to show you this idea. I did just do a quick thing on Instagram, but this is one of those $1.25 items from the $1.25 store. And this works really good if you have some extra cartridges, nibs, nib or pen pieces, converters, clips, all those kinds of bits and pieces that I never wanted to accumulate and was totally not into becoming a tinkerer with pens. And I really don't even consider myself that now, but I do like having all these little accessories in one place where I can find them easily. So happy to come across that too at the dollar store. And I just share this, probably not a new idea, but if you're watching and you have not yet come up with a system, this may be useful for you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Happy New Year. Bye.